The Great War of Separation did not go the way I thought it was going to go. And that's not a bad thing. I thought this was going to be predictable. Now, I'm going to do this without spoilers. I'm going to do my best to do this without spoilers. It it was believable, but not predictable, because the way everything has transpired, or what we've seen from the Rippaverse thus far, you might have thought you understood how this war broke out, or you might have had some kind of inclination, but man, this is fiery. This, I will say this. I'll start out by saying this, and I posted a video on my X account, a small thing, I think it's like a 2 or 3 minute video, it might have been 2 minutes. And I made this statement. This book found a way to connect me to characters emotionally in such a way that I felt anxious at certain points in the book, like I was inside the book. And there, man, it's hard to do this without giving spoilers. I don't like going over spoilers this early, because the book just came out. People want to get the opportunity to read it. They don't want to come across the video and, happen to hear something. It's like, I didn't read it. I don't care about spoilers. They never bothered me, but I understand that other people do. There is at least one character that I've already liked, but what happens in this book made me double down and like this character even more. There was more layers added to this character that I didn't think it was going to go this way. And look, it was so good that I was literally like, if I could jump through the pages of this book and start yelling and high-fiving, I would. It was done so well. Man, Chuck Dixon, this book approached emotionalism. Not emotionalism is not even the right word. This book approached situations in such a way to get you connected emotionally in a way you didn't think was going to happen. Like if you read this book and have the same kind of reaction I did internally, you're going to go, yo, I didn't see this coming. Like I didn't know I was going to be attached in this way. And maybe it's due to the fact that I'm an American, obviously. Maybe somebody who's overseas who reads this book, let me know what you think. If you had this same kind of emotional attachment. Because reading a book where you're seeing the country break apart, especially as realistically as this is playing out thus far, I'm like, yo, I'm invested in what's going on. Made me more invested in the universe. And this is really something different as far as the comic book universe is concerned. Like, this is not an alternate reality within the Rippaverse. This is the reality, the way things are playing out. And I like this. I like this. This was really a different idea. And I can tell going with the universe, or building a universe in this way, was a gamble, but it's paying off. Here's another thing I wonder. And I had a conversation on X. We were kind of talking about this same issue. Well, not issue, but this same thing concerning these books. If you haven't bought any Rippaverse books, you might not understand the size of these books. You might not understand how monumental it is, the frequency at which they're delivering books now, and the size of these books. This is no small task. And I wonder if when the Rippaverse was started, they looked at some of the pitfalls of Image Comics. Because look, even though we look at Image Comics with nostalgia glasses, many of us do. I will admit I do it. It wasn't perfect. The launch wasn't perfect. And you could go back and you can think about some of the things that happened, delayed deliveries, when I say delayed deliveries, I remember that being a big deal because I was completely invested in Image Comics. I loved Wildcats. I loved Cyberforce. And anytime I went to the comic book store looking for new issues and didn't get a new issue, I'm like, yo, and this is before the internet, before social media. So I'm like, yo, what is going on? And you'd have to wait till a magazine came out or some article was written, about what was going on, or somebody somewhere happened to talk about it, happened to get some information. Delayed deliveries was a really big deal. Image, I'll put it to you this way. Image, had there been a more faithful delivery schedule, would probably have overtaken both Marvel and DC outright. Like it would be the thing right now. Now, I'm not saying that the Rippaverse is going to do that. It's always possible. But what I will say, what they're doing right, whatever they're doing for their delivery schedule, this is a well-oiled machine. I get what I pay for and in a timely manner. I mean, the collection just stopped, and I wasn't expecting to get the book anytime soon because I think I ordered this like a day into the campaign. Did I order it right away? One of the books I didn't order right away. I think it was this one, but I'm not sure. Nonetheless, it got here really quickly. Like I completely did not see this coming. And there was my Ring camera went off. And so when I went out to check, I'm like, what the heck is going on? There's a box out there. It's from the Rippaverse. And I was like, oh, snap. I hadn't even checked my email, so I didn't know. I did not know this thing was coming. It was a pleasant surprise. I opened it and I was like, oh, I cannot wait to get to this. And when I read it, man, oh man. But before I get sidetracked too much, I wonder if they did research into some of the pitfalls of like Image Comics when it first started. Obviously, Image is still around, still doing big things. I'd say Image Comics is one of, not the first and not the only, but one of the biggest companies for creator rights. And I want to say that was the impetus behind the artists that started, building this company the way it is. But what I see happening with the Rippaverse in the independent space is this. They tell you they're coming out with a book. They release a collection. That collection goes on for whatever set schedule they have. It's done. Your book is delivered. And this has been consistent. And here's another thing. The big two are plagued with consistency issues in this way. They're plagued with consistency of good storytelling and consistency of good art. Not all the artists drawing for the Rippaverse are the same, but it is all quality. Me personally, not one time did I open one of these books and think to myself, oh man, I wish the art was a little better. All different artists, some are better than others, but every time I've opened a book, I'm like, I'm pleased. What I'm seeing, I'm completely pleased with. From the pencils to the inks. There was a couple books where I think they were trying to figure out what inkers to use, and they were kind of transitioning between inkers, and I understood. You can tell the different ink styles. Some were better than others, but at no point did I think any of it was just trash. This is all good quality stuff. That says a lot. That says a lot when you can, at a bare minimum, consistently deliver to me something that I will look at and it'll be visually pleasing. Because there are books, like I said, amongst the big two that I have bought, and you have never gotten a review from me because I opened that book and I was like, nope, close it right back up, threw it right back in my short box. There's some books, I'll be honest with you. You might call this shallow. The stories might have been great, but I love art. I can stomach, I don't prefer it, but I can stomach a semi decent to bad story if the art is stellar. But I cannot stomach a subpar art. I don't care how good the story is. I cannot stomach subpar art. That is my preference. I know people have different preferences. That's just mine. Preferences. But this book is, color-wise, it's stunning. I love the colors. I love the art. The art is done very well. Everything is very pleasing. Man, doing this without giving up anything. Here's what I'm going to say. There are books and there are characters and styles that we all have our differences we like or don't like. You might have thought, oh, I like Yaira, but I don't like Isum, or, I like Bloodruth, but I don't like Gooding. Look, again, I'm going to tell you, The Great War of Separation, I don't believe this is a book you can skip. There's a lot of books that like if you didn't like Isum. Now, technically, Isum launched a lot of these characters that we know and love now. But if you skip that book and went straight to some of the other books, you might have some questions, but you could probably get away with that. I don't think this is one of those books that you're going to be able to just say, I'll pass on that. I don't think you can pass on it. Well, obviously you can if you want to, but man, oh man, the stuff in this book. When I was done with this book, the only thing I kept thinking is, I cannot wait for the next one, because this is heating up and it looks like there's going to be so many things explained that I had questions about, and I cannot wait for it.